This is the Empowered Women Show, episode number 12.
Welcome to the Empowered Women Show, inspiring women with small voices but big dreams to step up and fulfill their extraordinary potential. And now your host, Casey Lightbody.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Empowered Women Show. I'm your host, Casey Lightbody, and today's guest is another amazing, inspiring woman. NAZRIN Murphie is a mindset coach and co-founder of Ripple Rock Your Purpose Live. Alongside her business partner, Leah Hines, they launch world-changing projects with people crazy enough to believe that they can change the world. Based out of Australia, they are the creators of the World Changers Blueprint. They offer high-performance coaching and they run inspiring retreats, making sure that their community, or world changers as they call them, do just that, change the world. I can't wait to dive into her story. Welcome to the show, Naz.
Thanks, Casey. It's so amazing to be here. But that was such a lovely introduction. I'm like, that is so not me. Anyway, let's dive in.
Thank you, Naz. I'm so excited to start. So I know you've got a really interesting history. So I'd actually like to kind of cast your mind back to when you started and really understand, why did you become an entrepreneur in the first place? Can you share with us that kind of decision that you took to make the plunge and why you did it?
So I think for me, specifically regarding entrepreneurship, is it's like I kind of feel like I was born with this thing, whatever it is. So I'd always been dabbling as a kid. I can't remember specific details, but I just always felt that was me. But then, I followed that normal path of going to school and going to university and getting a real job, whatever they are. And so that took me to my real job, and as much thought as I put into it was I really wanted a career that I could help people and really make a difference. And I thought, well, how can I do that? And really specifically, I wanted to help kids, the teenage kind of years, to stay off drugs or at least help them through that period. I had a really probably a very personal story connected to drug use and those not me, I didn't use the drugs, but, and just to see someone very close to me go through that period of drug use. So I decided that, the best way that I could do that was to join the police. Mm-hmm. So I was a police officer here in New South Wales, in Sydney, for 12 years. But I knew probably, thinking back, probably 9 months into the job, mm-hmm. that, oh my goodness, this is actually not an easy place to be able to make a difference or really help people effectively. There's a lot of bureaucracy and red tape and, all of those sort of political things that kind of I felt like I was caged in, right, to really be making that impact that I wanted to in the world. Right. And so from there, I kind of progressively, because I don't think I was being fulfilled internally. I probably 10 years around about that sort of space. Mm-hmm. I thought, wow, like, what am I doing with my life? So I'd had my daughter, and then I'd had my son. So they're almost 2 years apart. Mm-hmm. And I was waking up every day, and the way I describe it is I was just empty. I felt completely empty. I felt dead. And I thought, well, what if I'm not going to do this for me, then who am I going to do it for? And it was the catalyst of having these two beautiful, amazing human beings thinking, I can't teach them that this is the way life is. Mm-hmm. And so the best way I knew how to do that was to kind of lead by example. So I was going from the depths of and when I say I felt dead, I don't know, I've never thought of myself as being depressed, but maybe I was in that kind of space of what's the point? What is the point of life if I can't help people and make that difference and feel really boxed in? What is the point? So, yeah. So there was that. Yeah. So entrepreneur. So when I had Logan, I started dabbling in some things, right? And I was like, okay, I knew at least that I needed to get out of the situation that I was in, but I didn't really know how to do that or how I was going to go about it. And I thought, well, oh, cool. There's all these, some things that I did was I bought all these baby clothes, and I thought, well, I can then buy them cheap and sell them on to someone else, surely that's what business is about. So I dabbled in that a little bit.
That's so funny that you say that, because I did exactly the same thing. I don't know,
Do you still have them all in boxes downstairs in your garage as well? Yes, or wherever your garage is. Yes, I have about 6 or 7 boxes, like tea chest boxes full of like baby clothes. So, yeah. So that's one thing I did. So that was a complete and utter failure. I spent, so many weeks driving around all these random places, picking up clothes. Anyway, so there was that. I had run successfully with my mum. She had a business, a scrapbooking business. So I had previously dabbled in business, and we'd taken that business from being in the red to being in the black within a year. And so I knew that I had this passion for business for quite some time. So what else did I get up to? I did a few different things, but yeah, the baby clothes is one that I definitely remember. And I was just having no success anywhere, and completely not connected to what I was doing at all. It was like, yeah.
So then what happened? So when did you kind of, once you dabbled in a few things, when did you kind of find the thing that you're doing now, which is Ripple?
Yeah, so it's been a process, but when I say a process, now that I think back, like it's happened really quite quickly once we got on. So if I was to think about like what was the changing moment or the defining moment to the difference between buying baby clothes to now running the business that Leah and I do, it was a mindset shift.
Right.
And I think, shout out to Scott Dinsmore from Live Your Legend is where I originally got it from, is that business is all about like, and this is his philosophy on life, and I totally embrace it, is business is not about making money. It's not about selling things. It's absolutely not even closely related to like money generation. And so business is all about adding value to other human beings. And there is where I found like I feel like I'm at home now. Like all I need to do in the world is figure out how I can add value to other people, and the rest of it will take care of itself. And that is so hard to do when you're in this space of, I want to get out of this job. I'm working with turkeys, and what are they doing? And, it's just that mind to kind of believe and have some sort of faith in the fact that like, if you just give yourself and your value to other people, that you will get this return in business. It seems very woo-woo for someone who was very grounded at the time. I was like, okay, well, I got nothing to lose here, so I'll give it a go. So
fantastic, Naz. And so I know, Ripple has gone from strength to strength in really a very short time. So I just wanted to find out, you said that it was a mindset shift that really caused you to make that switch between, selling baby clothes, for example, and then creating this amazing business where you, facilitating change and really working on world-changing projects at the moment. So can you kind of nail down you mentioned it was a defining moment, was that mindset shift. Can you kind of pinpoint that exact moment, or was it a gradual change for you?
I think that was a defining moment, that all of a sudden, I just wasn't happy. Like, and when we say selling baby clothes, that is not true. What I was doing was buying baby clothes. I never sold one of them. So the defining moment in all of that and the mindset shift for me is that I was connected to something that was really important to me.
Okay, and that was just working with Scott, and then really that what he said about business really resonated with you. Was that kind of?
There was a couple of things all that happened at the same time. Okay, right. But it seemed like in memory, it seemed like a really defining time where everything changed. So I'd done a little bit of research and reading in regards to Simon Sinek and Start With Why, Scott stuff. I had also decided that particular year that I'd read the quote, life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. And I thought, well, if I'm dead at the moment, I'm feeling dead, and life begins there, then maybe if I go hang out at this edge of this miraculous comfort zone, maybe will start to feel alive again. And so I didn't even know that this movie existed, but I was like, yes, man, but yes, woman, for an entire year. And so I said yes to everything that scared the absolute bejesus out of me. One friend cottoned onto it and asked me to do way too many, crazy random things. So and the other one was at the same time, so there was kind of those four things all interlocked, was Marianne Williamson's poem, and there's a really specific line in that as you let your own light shine, you unconsciously give others permission to do the same. So I thought, because I had been in a space of, I guess, wanting to influence people, but never really knowing how to do that. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of trying to do that, as opposed to, and what I've now learnt is that influence comes from being, not from trying. And so the more that I let my inner self show, the more miracles started to happen. Mm-hmm. And that's the best way that I can kind of describe them. So those kind of 4 things.
I love it. I love it.
All
That's
together.
Fantastic. So,
yeah.
So it just sounds like an amazing journey, but we all know that there are certainly some challenges along the way of entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. So have you got one specific, I know there's loads, but if you could pick your biggest challenge or your biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome in business so far, what would it be, Naz? And can you share with us, that specific time?
I might just go back slightly, is not maybe specific to business, but specific to life. And so the most challenging thing was believing in myself. And so right back when this journey started, I didn't have, I couldn't even fathom that I would be doing what I'm doing now. That wasn't even remotely on my radar that was possible. And I didn't even believe in myself. I had been stripped back, I guess is the best way that I can describe it, to be something that I wasn't for such a long time that I didn't even know who I was anymore. And so the most challenging thing was to to actually believe in myself that I could contribute and that I was valuable and that I did have things to offer other people, was incredibly, incredibly tough at the time. So, and that serves for business as well, but it was a very personal, I kind of tore myself apart and then allowed myself back together. Can I
dive in a little bit there, Naz?
Yeah.
Really, can you share with us, because I think that's a really, really common thing amongst women, is that that whole self-belief and that that desire to believe in themselves that they don't have. So what were the kind of steps that you took specifically to start kind of building your self-belief and overcoming this big challenge for you in life?
So I was willing to go to the spaces that I didn't think I had the strength to go to. So I think a lot of people don't talk enough about this, is that I was willing to feel the pain and I was willing to step into that and I was willing to see myself for who I really was. There was a lot of tears and a lot of when I say pain, it felt like physical pain, because I was getting rid of all of this crap that I had been taking on for so much of my life. So, so specifically, I ended up in a course, which was through my job, because I was doing a lot of leadership training and team development and that sort of stuff. And I asked to be on a course to ask better questions. And so I went on this course and I thought it was going to be here's 42 questions, go and learn them, and you'll be a much better facilitator from here. And that is not what I got. I got my whole, the best way I can describe it, I had my insides ripped out and moved around and then put back in, but in a really nice way. But it was painful and it was challenging, and it was so absolutely necessary to get me to where I am now. So that's one thing. So I was in this course. So it was a neurosemantics NLP course. It was amazing, with some really great coaches and facilitators of that. So that was one thing. And a really super important step for me was that one person saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself. And so that was my boss at the time. I love him. His name's Ron Boots. I will be forever grateful that he came into my life. And he believed in me. He really believed in me and believed that I had so much more potential to give to the world. And the days that I would ring him up and say I can't do this, and this is just not me, and that's not, and so he would support me through that by just offering that space, I think. And he's just an incredible human being of, seeing something that I couldn't see, and he held that space until I could see it for myself.
That's just such a gold nugget, Naz. I love that. I love that. It's so important because
Yeah.
it is. It's so hard when you've got kind of you're in the woods. You can't see the wood for the trees yourself.
Yeah.
That you do have someone that really believes in you. I think that's amazing. So out of all of that, as painful as it's been, what are the main lessons that you've learnt?
Lessons from that. One is the power of belief. And so I would say, like, even if you can't believe in yourself right now, then offer that belief in someone else, because like that will actually come back to you as well. So you will then start to believe in yourself the more you do it. It's imperative that you can see your own power and you can feel your own power. We've all got it. Like, this is not just for me or you, Casey. Like, this is for everyone. This is for your community. They have such power, even if it's a quiet power.
Exactly.
Because little secret, I think quiet power is by far more powerful than loud power. Yeah. By far. Because you can influence in a really quiet way, and they don't even see you sneaking up on them. I love it. So
it's giving me goosebumps there.
Is to believe in your own power. You've got it. It's there. It's to find it, and then just step into that and utilize it. Because, like, the thing I always say is, like, we've only got one life. Well, unless you believe in reincarnation, that's great. But we're only here for this life once. Let's say it that way. And that no one is going to care less what you do tomorrow in 300 years' time. They probably won't even care in 1 year's time. So you might as well go out and, like, listen to that inner voice that you've got and go out and do it. So that's a lesson. What other lessons you have to go through the fire. Yeah. Like, I have not found any other way to strip away, they call them the onion skins. Like, there is no other way to strip away those onion skins but to go straight through the fire. And as you go through the fire time and time again, because you think, oh, finally, like, I'm through the fire, and then another fire, like, comes up. But the more that you do it, the more you understand that there's something so much more beautiful on the other side. So the very first time is the scariest thing I've ever done. And then it progressively got easier and easier as I kind of walked through that fire, to really just be in this space now of, like, this is me.
It's incredible. And you are amazing. We love you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So, Naz, now what is exciting? I know you and Leah are on an amazing ride with Ripple, but what is the one thing that's exciting you most, either in your life or in your business at the moment?
Oh my gosh, where do I start? I was saying to Leah, I'm like, is this really my life? So we say that quite often, because I used to go, oh, like, really? Like, this is my life? Like, this is what it's amounted to? Like, I got the husband and the kids and the white picket fence. I don't have a white picket fence, but, and now I'm like, wow. So what's exciting? Exciting for me is that this year we launched what we thought was something impossible, but it was really connected to ourselves. So it was listening to that voice. And so we launched the World Changers Blueprint, and we have 14 of the most incredible human beings that I have ever had the chance to meet. And I just cannot believe that we get to work with them and also have just a tiny part in those ripple effects that they're going to create. So, that's exciting. We're going to be writing a book about that, so that everyone has access to that same information, so that they can go out and make their world change. And then I'm jumping on a plane to London tonight. So, that's going to make this old news at some point in time. But it's exciting. I was just thinking before this call is that, wow, like, how did I go from, a police officer to now being able to do what I do every day? I'm so incredibly appreciative. And so I'm going to be doing a talk over in London about making world change. And, that's exciting stuff. I couldn't even think 2 years ago to go, if you had told me that, I would have told you you're a quack or something. Like, what?
That's incredible. So exciting. And I just can't wait to watch your journey, develop. It's going to just be amazing. So, Naz, I'd like to dive in because we're running out of time, but I'd like to dive into our lightning round now, which is three questions. The first one is, what is your most favorite business quote and why?
Well, I think there is a really strong correlation between business and personal. Like my opinion, you cannot have a really strong business unless you're really solid in yourself. Yeah. And so it's the one that I've already mentioned. So as you let your own light shine, you unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. So Marianne Williamson, it's just, it's that essence of just show up and be yourself, and that's where the magic happens, is when you can just be.
That's incredible. Yeah, yeah, that's so true. I love it. Okay, the next one is, which woman is the most inspiring to you and why?
Well, apart from the amazing ladies who are a part of our community who inspire me all the time, I would 100% say Leah. She is, oh my gosh, like I love her. She's inspiring because she just cares so deeply about other people and other humans, and she would do anything for anyone else. And the more I see her grow as well on her journey, because we are in this constant growth pattern as well, she just inspires me. She'll just go and get things done and have these amazing ideas and just love people. So I thought a lot about that question. And I was like, you know what, Leah Hines is the lady.
And that's just fate, because I dived into how you guys met in our interview, Leah and my interview, and it was just fate that you guys, connected like that. It's just incredible. So that is really inspiring that you've managed to, create this business together, and that I'm sure you inspire her just as much, but that's just amazing. So.
Yeah, we're very lucky, both of us.
And my last question, Naz, is what do you think we've probably covered this actually, but what do you think is the most significant barrier to female entrepreneurship in today's society?
I actually think the biggest barrier is women.
Yeah.
So the only thing I believe that's holding us back is ourselves. And I'm actually, I claim that I'm an anti-feminist. I think there should be something called humanist or beingist, one of those two I would be perfectly happy with. Yeah. Because I think being a feminist really boxes you into labeling yourself as a woman. And there is, in my experience, there's never been any difference between being a woman and being a man, because I don't think that way. I don't think that there's a difference between us, and I think it's our own thoughts that hold us back. I think we're not going after those things because we're scared or we're fearful, or what's this person going to think about me? And so I don't define myself as a woman. I define myself probably just off the top of my head as a powerful human being who has so much to give to the world, and having that mindset, I don't need to be held back.
No, that is just amazing advice, Naz. I think that's that's a really interesting way of looking at it and reframing it, because it's amazing that I asked that question of everyone, and every single person that I've interviewed so far has said it's women themselves that are holding ourselves back. So to kind of reframe like that, I think is really, really interesting way of looking at it. So with that, this is the end of the interview. Thank you so much. It's been amazing, and I could spend hours chatting to you. But
I know.
I would love
Me too. Me too. Can't we hang out longer?
I'd love to be able to share with my beautiful lady listeners where we can find you online, Naz.
Yeah, so Leah and I can be found at ripple.rocks. Don't you love that? Ripple.rocks. It's rypl.rocks.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thank you. I'll be sure to link those to the show notes. And Naz, once again, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed today's interview, were inspired, had some aha moments, and a couple of takeaways that you can implement into your business today to start finding your voice and creating a business and life that you love.